Transportable Shade Sheds presents how to build a shade shed. Tools needed: sledgehammer, ladder, drill, tape measure, pencil, string level, metal sheet cutter, socket wrench, silicone sealant. This training video will show you how easy it is to assemble a shade shed in a few simple steps. The shade shed will be delivered to you neatly packed and arranged in a flat pack box. Just pop it open and you can easily pull out the shade shed parts. Step 1. Base rails assembly. Shed construction starts at the base rails. Connect each base rail's end using the scoping tube. Ensure that all pieces are aligned. Place 2 Tech screws on both sides diagonally to secure them in place. Follow these procedures to construct the other base rail. Step 2. Secure one of the base rail to the ground. The type and quantity of the hold-down option depends on the wind rating that you need, and whether you need temporary or permanent application. We will show the procedures on how to secure the base rails with the ground anchors and concrete pier kit. We'll start with the ground anchors. Place one base rail in position. Move it aside and lay a small bed of gravel where you will be placing the base rail. This will prevent any moisture forming under the galvanized steel. Now place the base rail on the layer of gravel. Place the ground anchors beside the base rail, in between each section to mark where the ground anchors will be buried. Move the base rail aside and bury the ground anchors using a sledgehammer. Reposition the base rail over the ground anchors. Place the saddle plates over the bolts, and screw them down in place with a socket wrench. The next steps will teach you how to secure the base rail with the concrete pier kit. Place one base rail in position. Mark the ground where the concrete pier kit will be placed. Move it aside and lay a small bed of gravel where you'll be placing the base rail. Now, create a 600 mm deep and 450 mm wide cylindrical hole on the marks that we've made. Make sure to create the hole at the center of where the concrete pier kits will be. Fill the holes that we've made with concrete, up to ground level. Now place the base rail back in position. Place the saddle plates with the concrete pier kit in place. Let the concrete settle overnight before continuing to the next step. Step 3. Assemble the portal frames. Construct the portal frame by slipping the pieces together using our scoping tube connection system. Measure the distance across the top of the frame and across the bottom, and make sure that they're the same width apart. Check the edge along the top of the frame if it's straight. Now we can place 2 Tech screws on each side of the joints diagonally. Spin the frame over and do the same for the other side. Use the first portal frame as template for the assembly of the other portal frames by constructing them on top of the preceding one. Screw them together exactly the same way as the one below. Step 4. Attach the front and back portal frames. Place 2 portal frames on the base rail, one on each end so that we can square up the 2 base rail. Measure the outer width of the portal frame from the top. Now adjust the base rails to match this measurement. Take the measurement diagonally across the shed and repeat on the other side. The 2 diagonal measurements should be the same. Now that the base rails are aligned, secure the other base rail to the ground by repeating the procedures in Step 2. Step 5. The optional riser kit. There are cases where the ground will be uneven along the X and Y axis. This won't be a problem with our optional riser kit. This consists of a set of 400 mm risers and scoping tubes. Attach the riser kits on the base rail on the low side. Using a string level, attach one end of the string level to the base of the highest joiner of the base rail on the high side. Attach the other end on one of the risers. Move the string level up or down until the string is level. Mark this level on the riser. Cut the riser on the mark that we've made. Secure the riser to the base rail by placing 2 Tech screws diagonally at the front and back. Now insert the scoping tube in the riser. Secure it to the riser by placing 2 Tech screws diagonally at the front and back. Repeat this step for the other risers. Step 6. Attach the other portal frames. Attach the remaining portal frames to the base rails. Run a string line on top of the portal frames to make sure that they are level. If a portal frame is lower than the others, just tap it up from underneath until it is level with the others. Do the same on the other side. Once all the portal frame is aligned, put 2 Tek screws at the front and back diagonally to secure them to the base rail. Repeat this step for all of the joints. Step 7. Attach the tin roof. Get the sheet roofing and place the overlap side against the side of the shade shed. Measure a 150 mm overhang from the edge of the sheet to the edge of one of the outer frame and mark this with a pencil. Now mark the overlap of the sheet roofing at the center of each portal frame. Get another sheet roofing and spin it around. Apply a small line of silicone sealant at the outer edge of the overlap as shown in this video. Now put the first sheet's overlap over the overlap of the second sheet. Align the 2 sheets. Secure them together by placing 2 Tek screws on the marks you've made for the first and second frame. You'll have a sharp edge on both sides. Repeat the whole process for the other side, but place the Tek screws on the marks that you've made for the 4th and 5th portal frame. You'll have 2 sets of overlapping sheets. Place a pair of sheet roofing up the roof and slide them into the center. The first row of sheet roofing should be installed on the low end of the shade shed for proper drainage. Align the roof to the portal frames using the marks that we've made on the sheet roofing. Use the center of the nose and its joints on both sides as additional guide to help you center the panels. Be sure that there is a 150 mm overhang from the edge of the sheet roofing to the edge of the outer frame. The distance from the joints of the nose to the sides of the panels should be the same on both sides on all of the frames. Screw the sheets to the first and second frame on each of the high spots of the pan. Run a bead of silicone sealant, 125 mm from the back end of the panel. Let a little sealant extend slightly over each edge. Now place the other pair of sheet roofing over the previous one. Make sure that there is a 150 mm overhang from the edge of the second row of sheet roofing to the edge of the other outer frame. The second row of sheet roofing should overlap the first row of sheet roofing by 250 mm. Again, align the second row of sheet roofing to the frames using the marks that we've made. Be sure that everything is squared. Now place 2 Tek screws where the ribs overlap to secure the 2 rows of panels together. Use the pencil marks that we have made as a guide on where to put the screws. You can now screw the sheets to the frame on each of the high spots of the pan. Get the sheet roofing and apply a small line of silicone sealant on both ends of the overlap as shown in this video. Put it on the roof on one of the sides and slide its overlap edge under the second row of panels, while overlapping the first row of panels. Now get another sheet, then apply a silicone sealant 125 mm from its back end, and at the outer edge of the overlap as shown in this video. Let a little sealant extend slightly over each edge. Lift the end of the previous sheet, so that you could slide the sheet roofing with sealant under it and the first panel. Make sure that the sheets are aligned. Screw the 2 sheets together where they overlap at each section of the frame. Now screw the sheet roofing to the frame on the high spots of each pan. Repeat the entire procedure until the sheet roofing runs down at the side of the shade shed. If you opted for the metal flashings instead of the rubber edge guards, this is the time to tuck the side flashings underneath the sheet. Now screw in the rollover with the flashing to the frame. If you opted for the rubber edge guards, just screw the rollover to the frames. Do the entire process on the other side of the shade shed. Step 8. Attach the end flashing or the rubber edge guard. If your shade shed comes with the metal flashings, follow these steps to attach the end flashing to the roof. Snip the side of the flashing with a metal sheet cutter, about 10 mm. Bend each side to a 90-degree angle. Then bend the top edge over into the center. Place the flashing on the shed starting at one corner. Don't push it all the way through. Leave about a 10 mm gap. Now screw it in place from the bottom and side. Place a cut through the flashing at each of the high spots along the sheet roofing, so that you can bend the flashing around the edge of the sheets. Screw the end flashing to the sheet roofing along the ribs or high spots. Do the same on the other side, and overlap it over the previous flashing. Then screw the edges down. Repeat the entire process with the end flashing on the back of the shed. You also have the option to use rubber edge guards instead of metal flashings for a sleeker look. Follow these procedures to attach the rubber edge guard on the roofing. Install the rubber edge guard at the front first. Insert it over the edge of the sheet, starting on one end. Run it up along the length and shape of the edge until you reach the other end. Do the same on the other side. Install the rubber edge guard for the side edges. Insert it over the edge of the side edge, starting on one end. Run it along the length of the edge until you reach the other end. Do the same on the other side. Lastly, remove all the metal shavings left from drilling the screws using a broom or vacuum. This is to prevent rust from building up where the shavings are. There you have it. Your transportable shade shed is now ready for use. Perfect for protecting your car, caravan, boat and other vehicles. Get yours now. Hurry and contact us today before our sale ends. Click the like and share button. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. To get more information and exciting deals, check our link to our website and Facebook page down in the description box below.